Hello, everybody. It is Badger Wild, and we are back with our Space Engineers Survival Tech series. We are going to be going through here, showing you guys what it's going to take, the stuff you're going to need, and in order what you're going to need to go from point A to point B. Get yourself from survival pod to advanced space industry. So, without further ado, before we get started, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everybody. It is Badger Wild, and we're back with our Space Engineers Survival tutorial video, showing you guys how to get from basic space pod to military industrial complex in the shortest amount of time. But before we get on to the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you want to see this stuff before anyone else does, check out the membership program. 99 cents a month. You see everything that I put out as soon as it comes up. You don't, and with no wait times. But without further ado, let's get started. So, while you are starting with your space pod, there's a couple of things you need to remember on your ship that will help you in later game. These are things that people don't know about. Number one, we have our thrusters. You're going to want to remember these for later and not screw with these very much. Unless you are attempting to move the survival pod somewhere, it is not a good idea to mess with the thrusters at all. The other thing you are going to want to remember is your survival kit in the back. And you're going to want to know why for the survival kit. Well, it's actually very simple. Survival kit has 3 components that you are going to have a tough time getting if you don't have a base setup, and you have to find the materials to do this. One of those is medical components, and the other is metal grids. Now, you need metal grids and metal components. Now, you're not going to be able to find cobalt immediately in the game. And you're not going to be able to find a survival kit or more medical components very easy in the game. You're not going to find silver that quickly unless you're just lucky and you fall on top of that stuff. So what do you do? Well, the first thing you should do is remember these parts because we're going to come back to these later. What you should be doing first is taking your current survival kit and attempting to build yourself a platform. And I would suggest build a platform on the side of a mountain, and that will become apparent here in just a minute. Like I said, we've got a lot of things going. We're just going in order, and I'm telling you where you're going to want to go, because you're going to see later why this is necessary and why you need to know about all that stuff on your survival pod. So first things first is you're going to want to build your base. You're going to want to put down some blocks, and you're going to want to put in either a solar panel set or a wind turbine. I'd suggest doing both, because a wind turbine supplements power. It provides a little bit of power all the time. Solar panels give you a boost at some point. Now, as you're going on, you're going to want to build a few more spaces out. And the first thing you're going to want to build is a refinery. One basic refinery. This will be in your toolbar, so don't worry about it. You'll be able to find it. Once you've built the basic refinery, you can start grabbing materials from nearby, throwing it in there, and it will process them at a much faster rate, and it does so automatically. Where the survival kit requires you to go in and manually tell it, okay, make me ingots, the basic refinery will do that. As soon as you throw stone in, it says, yep, there you go, resources. It doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't demand anything. It doesn't need to have its hand held. It will just do it. After this is done and you're starting to get a little bit more in resources, and this is the warning, you're not going to be getting resources hand over fist. This is just going to process them faster than you can get the resources. The next thing you're going to have to solve is getting your basic assembler. Now, you're going to want the basic assembler because this has a whole lot of options, and I'm going to show them to you right now as soon as I can get into this thing. So with the survival kit, we can do computers, construction components, displays, girders, interior plates, steel plates, solar cells, and motors. However, if we go to our basic assembler, we now have new stuff in here. We are now able to make bulletproof glass. We are now able to make detector components, medical components, large steel tubes, small steel tubes, metal grids, radio components, and power cells. These are necessary for more mid-game stuff. If you are going to want to get to that next mid-game area, this is how you get to the bigger industrial stuff that's now pulling in large quantities of resources and processing them in mass. So this is where you're getting from the stepping point. You're going to want the basic assembler because it can do all of this. And then your refinery converts the silver, the gold, and many of the things that you need. I believe it's silver. Yeah, it processes the silver, magnesium, and all that stuff. This is also when you start getting to the point of building base defenses and weapons, because this particular refinery will do that. It'll get you base defenses and weaponry. So you've got that going for you. Now, once you've got this stuff done, you got the assembler. One of the first things I would suggest you build is a battery. It doesn't take very much. You're going to be taking the same amount of time anyway. Go get some more resources, build up some stuff, and get you your first battery. Because having a battery that you can store power in when you're not refining will help you out when the lights go out on the planet and you don't have anything to work with. After that is done, you got the battery. The next thing I'd say is build you a survival kit. Now here's the kicker. If you don't have any silver yet, you've been doing this by hand drilling, you're going to have baseline resources and you're going to be able to build some basic stuff. The survival kit is not going to be buildable without silver. You need medical components. But here's the kicker. This only requires 3 medical components. That's the only advanced thing that you need for this. 3 medical components. Where are we going to get those? Wait, I remember. On the back here, there were 3 medical components to make this survival kit. It takes the same amount of medical components for the small ship survival kit to make the large ship survival kit. So just grind off your survival kit, place you a frame down here, and start welding. As you grind down parts there, transfer them and weld them up into this survival kit and build you new survival kit. So now this is now your base and this is where you're going to stay at. The next thing you're going to want is this bad boy, a cargo terminal. Now, the first thing you're going to say is you're going to look at this and say, well, Badger, small steel tubes only require steel, but where am I going to get the 4 metal grids? I'm glad you asked. This is why I said sit back and remember the engines on the survival pod. On the survival pod, you have 4 engines, and each one requires 1 metal grid to build each. Take those off, build you a nice little cargo terminal, which will hold 15,000 cubic meters of ore, materials, and parts. So this is a big thing. You've now got storage, you've got respawn, you've got power. You're not going to need a whole lot of other things. Now, to speed up your mining, this is where the mine speeding is going to come up. We're going to work with our conveyor belts. So we've run some conveyors here right next to the side. This is why I said building next to a hill is your best option. This is going to get you somewhere very quickly. Because now we have this thing here. We have a hopper. And a hopper is not a difficult thing to build. It doesn't require any crazy stuff, just some small steel tubes. A lot of this is just going to require some small steel tubes. And what this does, it's going to move a conveyor tubing here so that you can build one of these. You're going to want to build it like this, close to the ground. And then you're going to want some of these panels right here. You're going to want all of these to try and create a scoop or a hopper, for instance, that will take ore and put it in there. And so I'm going to show you why you want to do this real quick. We're going to sit here and I'm going to mine this little bad boy. As you can see, it's now going in. We're no longer grabbing the ore by hand, mining for a little bit and putting it in there. What we're able to do is we can just get on this hilltop, put enough panels in place to funnel all the ore down into here. And as long as we're drilling here, the ore will just roll down here and go into the chute. And then it will just be processed as we are working. This will be significantly faster because instead of stopping every time you fill up your inventory, you're going to be able to just send that ore directly in there. And as you are doing that, other things are going to get solved. You're going to be able to build up your materials. You're going to be able to expand your base. Most importantly, you'll be able to scrap most of your survival pod and use the parts to build something else. And as you get going, you're going to be able to add hydrogen, oxygen, building, You're going to be able to add oxygen storage. You're going to be able to add hydrogen storage, uh, more connectors, everything. This is starting to get, but most importantly, this will start getting you the parts you need to begin building your advanced assembler and your industrial refinery. And once you have an industrial refinery and an advanced assembler, sky's the limit. If you can get the ore, you can build it. And that's basically how this entire system works. This is what you should be getting for, or something within the realm of possibility of building something similar to this. This is where you should be heading to at some point. You should be building a small base. Like I said, this is just a temp base. You can build onto this, or you can build a vehicle that can take materials to a more ideal or more defensible location. Say you don't like the area you're in right now. You can build a miner that can go out and cut you a hole in the ground and build underground, and then you'll be all right. Sky is the limit. Like I said, it's the sky is really the limit. And once you get to this point, you can build just about anything you want on planet, and you can start getting out. But later on, we're going to start going through in the next video, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of tricks to make your base work a lot better, and also take advantage of some stuff that will happen. Just a bit of simple setup that will take your base from a small area, as well as we're not going to tell you how to solve a whole lot of problems, but we're going to show you in the next video how to set your base up so that you can print and build and have the ability to build things in base rather quickly without having to worry about where parts and stuff are going. But anyway, folks, if that has helped you out, if you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, like I said, if you like the video. And again, 99 cents a month, you can see all these videos come out. These videos are going to, if you are seeing this video, it is part of a series that's been done, and my plan is to get this series. It's either going to be 3 to 5 parts. All of those will be up on YouTube simultaneously for members, so you'll be able to binge this entire series. If not, well, you're going to have to wait for everyone, and waiting's not fun. So if you guys want everything out as fast as I put it out there, memberships are awesome. And once again, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.